Every cold AI chat has the same tiny tax. It does not know your operating manual yet. This is fluid coding and AI, and today we are building a portable context system, so ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and coding agents can start with the right facts instead of making you re-explain your entire universe every Monday. The problem is usually not that your prompt is bad. The problem is that your context lives in the wrong place. If your business facts live only in ChatGPT memory, Claude does not have them. If your repo conventions live only in one chat thread, the next coding agent starts over. And if your best examples are scattered across old conversations, the model gets adjectives instead of evidence. There are two different ideas that often get mashed together. Platform memory is what a product remembers for you. OpenAI says ChatGPT can use saved memories, past chats, custom instructions, project files, and connected apps depending on settings. Claude Projects are workspaces with chat history, instructions, and knowledge. Gemini personalization can use past chats, preferences, and connected Google apps when those features are available. Portable context is different. It is the source of truth you own outside the chat window. Plain files are boring in exactly the useful way. You can inspect them. You can version them. You can delete a bad line. You can share one project folder without sharing your entire life story. And if you switch from one AI tool to another, the important context does not stay locked in the old product, like a very polite hostage situation. Portable context is not magic memory. It is a clean input layer. Here is the catch, and this is where my expectation changed. The file that helps the most can also hurt the most. A stale voice guide makes every draft sound wrong. An old offer makes every sales answer confidently outdated. A copied client note can leak into places it never belonged. Reusable context beats reprompting only when it is scoped, current, and safe to use. The practical version is a small folder called AI Context, not a giant knowledge dump. A folder. Start with this shape: profile, projects, examples, decisions, wins log, an agents file, and a README for AI. The README tells the assistant what exists and when to use each file. The folders keep stable identity, active work, proof, and repo instructions from turning into one enormous soup prompt. The profile layer is for durable context, not sensitive trivia. Use about.md for your role, your audience, and the stable facts the assistant usually needs. Use voice.md for real examples, banned phrases, and style preferences. Use principles for decision rules. Use boundaries for things the AI must not do, like inventing prices, exposing secrets, or drifting into legal advice. This layer should be boring enough to survive next month. Project folders are where the current work lives. For a YouTube channel, that might be audience, current priorities, source links, example scripts, and what this project is not trying to do. For a software product, it might be the roadmap, constraints, architecture notes, open decisions, and release risks. The rule is simple: if the fact changes per project, do not bury it in your global profile. Examples are where the system starts getting good. Do not just write, sound clear and useful. Keep 3 real examples that worked, then explain what made them work. Decisions stop the assistant from reopening debates you already closed. The wins log records dated evidence. What changed, what happened, and why you think it worked. That last part matters, because otherwise the wins log becomes a trophy shelf with YAML energy. For developers, the most important context file is often not the brand voice file. It is AGENTS.md. OpenAI says Codex reads AGENTS.md before doing work, layering global guidance with project guidance and letting files closer to the current directory override earlier ones. The public AGENTS.md format describes it as a README for agents, setup commands, code style, tests, security notes, and repo-specific rules. Your agent does not need vibes. It needs the test command. The goal is not to shove every possible instruction into every prompt. Codex skills use a pattern called progressive disclosure. The system starts with a small description, then loads the full skill only when it is relevant. That is the right mental model for your context folder too. Make files discoverable. Keep them small. Give the assistant a README that says, for voice, read this, for repo work, read that, for current project facts, start here. In ChatGPT, use the layers for different jobs. Memory is good for broad preferences you actually want carried forward. Projects are better for bounded work, because OpenAI says project chats, files, sources, instructions, and connected apps can help ChatGPT continue inside that project. Temporary chat is the safer move for one-off sensitive work, because OpenAI says temporary chats do not use or create memories. Portable files give you the part you can inspect before uploading. In Claude, the clean fit is projects, focused workspaces with their own chats, instructions, and knowledge. For team and enterprise projects, remember that sharing settings change who can use or edit the project. In Gemini, personalization can include past chats, preferences, and connected Google apps where available. But the privacy model matters. Google says temporary chats and chats with keep activity off are still retained for 72 hours for response, safety, and feedback processing. Same folder, different upload rules. The deletion story is the part people skip until it matters. OpenAI says fully removing something ChatGPT may know can require deleting it from each place it appears, save memories, chats, files, and connected apps. Gemini has its own activity and temporary chat rules. Shared projects in ChatGPT or Claude can expose files and chats to other members. So before you upload a context folder, decide what should never enter it in the first place. The weekly loop should be tiny or you will not do it. Once a week, add one win, record one decision, and remove one stale assumption. If the offer changed, update the project file. If an output performed well, save the example and why it worked. If a boundary got violated, write the boundary down where the next assistant can actually read it. 2 minutes is believable. A knowledge management retreat is not. Here is the practical verdict. Use platform memory for broad preferences. Use project features for bounded work inside one tool. Use portable files for the durable facts, examples, decisions, and repo rules that should survive tool churn. Use temporary or no memory modes for sensitive one-offs. The best system is not the biggest context system. It is the one you can trust, inspect, update, and safely hand to the next model. If this helped you turn AI context from repeated prompting into reusable infrastructure, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI. Next time you open a new chat, do not start from memory, start from a source of truth.